Hey guys, so I am back doing a video on how to do a Pronto Quickweave. I was watching Msdivalike and she showed how she did hers. She was actually using longer hair. I decided to do mine with no leave out and an invisible part because I'm natural, so I don't want to leave any of my hair out. I'm first going to start by braiding up my hair, and the braids I want to focus on the most are the ones around the perimeter. So I use just some regular braiding hair to add to my edges so that my edges aren't being so stressed. And I make sure that those braids are, pretty secure. The rest of them, I just kind of do big raggedy braids, nothing too fancy. And then I tie it all up with the rubber band when I'm done. I'm going to use some growth protect solution here, and you'll see why a little later in the video. So I'm just going to use it right here where I'm going to do my invisible part at, just to make sure that I don't get any glue on my hair once I cut the cap. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about a little later in the video. So I'm just going to use that growth protect solution right in this area. This is not necessary. You can also sew the cap down, right next to your part if you want to. So I'm going to just use a regular stocking cap. I'm gonna use two of them actually. My black one is kind of old. I've been had it and I just decided to use it. Take my needle and thread and go ahead and sew both stocking caps to those braids around the perimeter. I didn't even really sew them really tight. I just sewed them just enough so that it would stay on. And then I tie it off at the top and I'm ready to begin. So of course we're gonna use some hair glue, a little pump it up if you need it. This is the 27-piece hair that I just had in my hair box, so I don't have the brand. Some clips if you need those, a blow dryer, and some scissors. So I'm going to take my first piece and I'm going to measure across the back of my head, and I'm going to also measure a second piece that's going to go right above it. What I do is I will measure two pieces, cut them, and glue both of them. Then I will let the glue become a little tacky, and then I place both of them on my head one by one. That gives a chance for the glue not to be so runny, and for it to dry just a little bit. And I just pretty much space the pieces about probably not even a half of an inch apart, like really really close together. I'm sorry that you can't really see exactly how far I'm spacing it, but they really are just right above each other, maybe a centimeter apart. And I just keep going up with the various lengths of the 27 piece, and I'm using most of the longer lengths. I didn't use any of the shorter pieces of hair to do this portion. I used probably I think there's like a total of 4 lengths, maybe 4 or 5, but I use probably the 2 longer lengths for my entire head. You can always, use clippers, or you can use a razor to cut the hair down if the pieces are too long, which you will see in the next video. So I just keep gluing pieces, right above each other, and using my blow dryer to ensure that those pieces are actually dry. And I'm being careful not to go above where my part is. You want to be mindful of where your part is under your cap. Okay, so I pretty much have used all of the number 4 27 piece that I have. If I use these little pieces, it's going to be an obvious line of demarcation because they're not long enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and start using this long hair that I have, and I'll indicate somewhere what type of hair this is. I don't remember. I think it's outre velvet, maybe something. Anyways, so the next few clips will be of me installing this. I'll probably put a few pieces of this number 30 in there just to give it some flair. So yeah, the next few clips will be me doing that. Okay, so we are pretty much at a point now where we want to actually cut the cap. So go ahead and pin this back out of your way so you're not distracted by it. Take you either a pair of scissors or get a, you know, the little eyebrow razors. If you have one of those, get one of those, because they're actually easier and you don't have to worry about doing like this. You can just kind of put it in there and swipe it. But if you don't, so get you some scissors, and you want to be really, really careful, like extremely careful, and not cut your hair. You're gonna find the open area, which is your part. Just want to cut a little bit to make sure you're in the right place. You should be able to see it. I don't know if you can, but I can see my part in the mirror. So please don't cut your hair, because I can't help you if you cut your hair, but it is easy to do like this. And if you need to cut one cap at a time, especially if you have two different color caps, that helps. So I'll cut and then it's easier to see. It should be pretty easy to lift up, because that's the part that doesn't have the growth protect solution. And if you didn't put growth protect solution on, you would have sewn this part of the cap down too. So it should be right in the middle of where you sewed it down. That's going to expose your part. So again, just be very, very careful. If you have to cut a little bit at a time, cut a little bit at a time. Okay, so once you got it cut and exposed and all that good stuff, cut your excess off. Again, being very careful not to cut any of your hair. On this side, same thing. Okay, so there it is. Basically, you're going to do your invisible part right on top of it. So here we go. So for the invisible part, had a few people, you know, request me to show it up close, because I always skip it because I have videos on how to do an invisible part. Plus there are tons of other videos, but I will show it now. I pretty much cut pieces about this big. It's maybe, don't go by mine, go by how big your spacing is. So from your part until to your first weft, you want to cut just a little bit past that, so your first piece will fit nicely from your part, and then it slightly covers the weft. And I pretty much just I glue about 4 or 5 or more, depending on, you know, how my mood. But I'll glue like a few of them, and then let them kind of, you know, let the glue dry slightly till it gets tacky. And then I'll just place them one on top of the other. Not on top, but directly above. So that there's my first one, here's my second one. And you want to get that as close to your natural part as possible. Now I have some pieces that are a little shorter, but that's okay. You just don't want all of your pieces like that. See how it doesn't completely meet the first weft? But that's fine because most of my pieces are longer. So just going to continue to do that. Again, you want those one right above the other. That. And then I just continue all the way up. So I'll fast forward a little bit so you guys can see it. So now I'm going to close up that little section that's open. And just kind of wrap that hair around to form a U. And then the next one I'm going to form like a circle. And I'm going to leave room for my closure piece. So you can see how it's kind of circular. So I'm going to put my closure that I made right down in that circle. I'll make it big enough just to fit right there in the circle. So I finished putting everything together, and I guess mine really wasn't a Pronto Quickweave because it took me a little bit longer. But anytime you're using 27-piece hair, it's going to take a while because the hair is a little bit more intricate, and the wefts are so they're single wefts, so you have to, you know, put way more than if this was a full, like if you had virgin hair or something like that, or long hair, it wouldn't take as long. But anyway, so you guys are going to have to go over to the next video, and I'll link it below on how I cut and finish up the style, because this video is like hella long. So I will do all of the cutting, shaping, all of that good stuff in the next video. So you guys make sure you go over there and see how this style turns out. Thanks for watching. Bye.